Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Roast.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers. Here we are. This is day 11 in the house. We've made it to the other side of the first eviction of the season. And of course, there is a lot going on already because when is that not the case for Big Brother this early?
Absolutely. We've got Zay. He's gone. How we all feeling about it? Bye.
Yeah, here's the thing, everybody. No, we're not fans of Zay. We made that very, very clear. He talked 2,000 miles a minute. It's like we don't need to go blah, 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 like the rest of the season. That's not appealing to anybody. I just think at this point, it's like I appreciate the fact that he campaigned and fought hard. We gotta be consistent, right? Like we always say, we want people to fight.
Yep.
He fought.
Yep.
I'm not gonna miss you. That's fine. Okay, so now we know the new HOH. We're going to talk about that, but also I'm wearing the murder mystery jacket for a reason, guys. There are special powers that are entering the game.
Yeah, there are 3 powers that are entering this game. This was not on the show last night. So we've been watching the live feeds to find out who has these powers, what these powers seemingly do, and we're going to explain them to you guys just in case you missed it or you're not sure, because, you know, it's all about broken telephone at this point. Who's telling what to who, what's true, what's not true? Are they explaining their own powers correctly? Like sometimes that gets confusing. So we're going to break it down and explain these powers in the simplest way that we can.
Yeah, okay. We have, as Jess said, so much to get into here. But before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button because, yeah, we are going to be here with daily Big Brother 27 live feed updates through the entirety of this season. Let's hope for a very, very good time with that. And if you guys didn't know, we are actively also in the midst of covering Dexter Resurrection. We are huge Dexter fans to the point that Jess had a Dexter birthday party when the original show was on the air. And we're having a great time doing 3 Dexter videos a week.
Yeah, and we're also going to be covering Twisted Metal. We're also going to be covering Alien Earth here at the channel. So hit that subscribe button for all of that coverage. And if you want even more Big Brother discussions with us, you can head over to our Patreon. It's another great way to be able to chat with us about Big Brother.
Yeah.
But it's also helped support us here at the channel to continue to bring you these daily live feed updates. So thank you so much to everyone who has.
Thank you, guys. We really, really appreciate that. All right. HOH. It happened. They were off forever, which happens when you don't really have a competition on the show. They just make you sit around and wait. You know, cheers to all you fellow night owls who waited for some sort of result here. We all be tired.
Also, cheers to you for doing the night shift because I am 50 and I am not staying up late at night. I just can't do it. So I get the early shift. Matt gets the late shift when it comes to the feeds.
There are certain times when they do spend forever to let the feeds come up where I just am sort of, I don't know if I'm like advocating for mind control, but I'm just like, okay, can someone in production just like, boop, just flip the switch? You know, who cares if the executive producers want it? Just give me some answers already.
Yep.
All right. The new HOH has been officially crowned.
Doop, 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 doop.
Jimmy.
It's Jimmy. So we've been hoping for a Jimmy HOH nice and early. He's been very messy, which we really appreciate. You know, I'm a messy bee. I love it. So he's been really messy the first week that we've been watching the show. But now here we are with him, and he's already talking about his nominations, and they feel very safe.
Yeah, I think here's a little bit of the problem with the course of events over the past 24 hours. It's like we're totally fine, obviously, with Zay leaving the game, but from the standpoint of unpredictability, Zay being evicted and then Jimmy winning HOH, it just kind of allows him to do a pretty straightforward route when it comes to some of what he wants to do at this point. Now it's very, very early. There is a chance, as I said I was hoping for days ago, that Jimmy is going to develop a major case of HOH-itis because he likes to clearly be the star of the show to the point where he's doing speeches at veto ceremonies for reasons that still remain unclear.
Well, that's the thing. I think Jimmy knew that he wasn't a target at that point, so he could be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make great TV. That's what it felt like. I'm going to make great TV. I'll make a little bit of a mess and we'll be going full steam ahead and people will love it. And people have enjoyed it. So not everybody, but some people
Yeah.
have enjoyed it because we all like mess, right?
Yeah.
But here we are when he actually has power, where finally he's like, okay, messy Jimmy, that's fine when I'm not in power and I'm not going to be really ruffling any feathers. But now that I'm in power, I still want to win this money. Like he's here to win the money. Yeah, messiness, but also money. So if he's going to do this HOH, he can't be as messy as he was now that he's in power. He'll just go right out after it.
Yeah, and I think he's smart enough. Unfortunately, in this case, for us as people who want shouting matches, unfortunately, he's smart enough, I think, to sort of realize that. So we kind of have a rough idea right now as to what he is going to do with nominations based on the conversations he's had, in particular with people like Morgan and Zach. For everybody who kind of needs a refresher, understandable this early, there is this alliance called Heavy Hitters,
Mhm.
which is really not that big of a deal, but at the same time, I don't get the sense that Jimmy wants to be the person who comes out there and really breaks this up. Like, this consists of himself plus Morgan, Rachel, Vince. I think I already said Morgan, but Morgan, Rachel, Vince, himself, Zach Riley. Like, this is the Heavy Hitters Alliance, and he doesn't want to do anything with that. So it seems like Adrian, of all people, might be going on the block.
Yeah, we're looking at Kelly, we're looking at Keanu, which I think is not a surprise to anyone. And Adrian, I think, is just catching a stray because he's part of that group that's just like, okay, if I get one of them, then it helps break up that they're all really tight.
Yeah, it seems ultimately like Adrian is just sort of a nominee by association at this point, which, as we are both fans of Adrian. You were there
Hmm.
earlier than I was. I was a converted member of the Adrian fan club.
It's interesting to see the progression and the ups and downs of Adrian because it feels like preseason, not many people were high on him. Then people started to really like him. And then after last night, it feels like people don't like him anymore because he was crying. I'm like, you know what? I like a sensitive guy. I'm all right with that. You want to feel your feelings? Feel your feelings. It's not a problem for me. It doesn't matter. It's not something that's going to make me stop liking you because you're having an emotional moment. Big Brother is a very hard game, not for everybody.
Yeah,
Some people are tougher than others, and that's fine. That's what makes humans humans. I'm Team Pisces. I'm a Pisces.
yeah.
I cry over everything. So I'm somebody who really relates to Adrian.
Well, this is the sort of the funny thing. I've already seen all these people like memeing Adrian being upset, memeing Zach crying. It's all this other sort of like, sure, in certain circumstances, these memes may be very, very funny, but at the same time, I will say this as a former reality TV alum here, and no, Beauty and the Geek did not last anywhere near as long as Big Brother is going to last. Like, our hope was,
5 seasons is still a lot of seasons.
yeah, but
You did all
I
right.
did all right, but even the time I was in the geek house, it was just like 3 or 4 weeks. But I will tell you, time moves at a very different. It's sort of like you're in a pocket universe when you're filming reality
Mhm.
television, and everything seems like you've known these people for longer. And yes, they acted a little bit like Zay died when he got evicted from the game. You will see him again, but that's just sort of the way in which it goes when you form these tight alliances. And Adrian, I feel for him. I mean, maybe he got a little bit of trouble here because he was on the outside of the vote, but he made a promise. He was just trying to stick with this promise. Don't hurt sweet Adrian this week. He doesn't deserve that.
I'm hoping that if he is going up, that he's really just not the target. We know that like Jimmy and Keanu have had like up and down, there's
Yeah.
Huggate, everything that's been going on with them. I just feel like Kelly and for Jimmy, Keanu, and some of the other house guests, that they are way bigger targets than Adrian. Adrian just feels like he's catching a stray because he's hanging out with them and talking to them, and he was just on the wrong side of the boat.
Yeah, it seems like this is mostly going to be about Keanu for all the reasons that you just said. Kelly, she's an easy person to be on the block. She's still just like painfully awkward at all times. It just does like weird things. I don't know how else to describe it. Just like she's randomly being like surprise, Vince, I'm gonna attack you now. And she's talking about like using Vince's deodorant. I'm just like, who does this? Who does this in the house?
I really don't know what is going on. I mean, maybe she thinks that it's friendship. I mean, maybe she's just her maturity hasn't come together, socially awkward. I don't know what is going on here with her, but it is something else.
Yeah, she's just
Don't use my deodorant.
no. Listen, I take comfort in knowing that my deodorant is untouched by other people. It makes me it helps me get up in the morning. I don't need any of that sort of stuff. But okay, so we have another conversation here between Jimmy and Keanu where I think this is going to happen a lot. We know one thing about Keanu so far this season. This man does not sit still. I understand I have mild cerebral palsy, but it's just like Keanu, you got to know how to chill, man, more than you do.
Yeah, it's really interesting because he is such a big broy guy, but he's really like this nerd inside. And while he seems to have, a good sense about him, he also just feels like he is extremely insecure
Yeah.
and really needs feedback from people to feel better about himself, to feel like he's on solid footing. And we said this yesterday. I think that that's why he needs to hug people, that hug is, physical touch is his love language. You'd be like, oh, we're all right. Hug it out. Okay, I feel good now. I know everything's okay.
Yeah, he's just very insecure about his spot in the house. And honestly, at this
Right.
point, he kind of should be. He's on the
Right.
outside of the vote. Jimmy called him out during a speech, and now
Hmm.
Jimmy is HOH. Of course, he's going to be worried. Like, Jimmy kind of sort of in their conversation overnight did downplay a little bit. Like, he's considering putting up Keanu, but it's
Hmm.
not necessarily like this big hardcore thing. And the reason is because, as we've all seen now, Keanu and Jimmy had a conversation after the veto ceremony where Jimmy sort of explained why he did this. Keanu basically explained that he started talking about Jimmy because he heard that Jimmy was saying his name, which
Hmm.
was true, but ultimately, Jimmy's just trying, I think, to smooth over this situation a little bit. But he did do this interesting thing where he was just like, okay, Keanu, I'm going to give you a little bit of a test here to see how you answer.
Hmm.
This is okay, Keanu. Did you make a 10-person alliance in the house? Which, we all know kind of the answer to this. He went crazy.
Hmm.
Keanu responded by basically being like, no, but I tried to, which, once again, very true, Keanu. You tried.
Yeah, he tried. He told him the truth. But at the same time, I'm sitting back being like, Jimmy, you're part of the heavy hitters. There's like a million people in this alliance. This is not a small alliance.
Yeah, it's just sort of hypocritical to go after Keanu for making big alliances. I think, tinfoil hat time here,
Hmm.
I think that Jimmy was just hoping that Keanu was going to tell more of a complete straight up lie, like Keanu has already told lies about his vote and acting like he's on the right side of the numbers when he's not. But I think,
Which is fine. Everybody lies
yeah,
in this house.
I think Jimmy just wanted more of a straight up lie to come from this situation because then he would be more justified in his decision and then maybe he could say that or not feel as bad about it. But, here we are, Keanu is kind of sort of trying to be honest.
He made the right choice here. I mean, Jimmy's the HOH. It is time to do the best that you can. If you're not a great liar, which Canada does not feel like he is
Yeah.
a really great liar, then just tell the truth. I mean, it's something that happened. It's done. At least 10 people know about it, so you might as well say.
Yeah, you might as well just go ahead. One thing I did find funny is what Jimmy has sort of said to other people now, which is basically accusing Keanu of running around and sort of putting stuff in different rooms so that he always has an excuse to go into a room.
Yeah, it's the Andy game, which, is a good move. I'm not going to say that it's not. Having things in different rooms so you have a reason to go in and be like, oh, my cup's in here, my sunglasses are in. Anybody see my deodorant? Oh, it's in the kitchen for no reason, that kind of thing. Like, I appreciate it. It's fine. Like, he's just made it really obvious. He's doing the leave behind.
Yeah, he is doing the lead, which is a good strategy. I mean, here's the thing. We can all say what we want about Big Brother 15, and boy, have we ever. But, like,
Yes.
Andy had some moves that were really, really smart, and this is one of them. But
Yeah.
Keanu, unfortunately, Keanu's problem is Andy was good at being sneaky. Keanu, you're like 8 feet tall and you're built like a boulder. You are not sneaky. You are not subtle.
The other issue is that Andy's already done this
Yeah.
and has taken credit for that move, and that move did help him in the game. And now, when that's happening, people already know that this is an Andy move and that it worked. So when they see that happening, they're able to call it out. No one had really done it as well as Andy before that.
No. Okay, so let's get a little bit now into what exactly the HOH here was, because this is the return, and this is one of my personal favorites. Kind of like I know your personal favorites are the slip and
I
slide.
love the slip and slide. I love OTEV, anything that has people that are falling over.
There might be people that are falling over in this. It's always to be determined. This is the black box competition where everybody gets to be in my world, meaning that they can't see what's around them and they have to sort of navigate through all this and find stuff. I think this is always an entertaining HOH. It also justifies the feeds being down for a million years because
Yes.
it takes a little bit of time in order to do this.
Mhm.
One thing that was kind of interesting, though, actually, there's a couple things that are kind of interesting that come out of this. And one of them is Lauren and Vince were having this conversation, and Lauren alleged, and we haven't seen the show edit here, so who knows if
Mhm.
this is true or not,
Yep.
but Lauren said that at a certain point in the competition, it seemed as though Jimmy was kind of wanting Rachel to win it.
If this is not true and this is just a lie from Lauren,
Yeah,
this is going to cause so many problems, because if she's kind of starting, she's very perceptive. So she's starting to see that these two are getting close. They're having more conversations. That's not great, right? You don't
yeah,
want Rachel to be having more and more and more allies. So she's going to end up just being the two-time winner, right? Like
yeah,
if you let her go too far in the game, and then you've made a mistake and you can't get her out, right? Like
yeah.
she needs to be somebody that needs to go before jury, or it's going to be bad, right? So if this is a lie and it's told in this way where it's very believable because of everything that people have kind of been seeing, this is a good way to try to pull a little bit of a wedge. And because she's telling Vince,
Yeah.
Vince is somebody that she's working with that is very unlikely going to go and tell anybody else, but it at least keeps it in Vince's mind, since Vince has already won an HOH.
Yeah.
If he wins another HOH, that this might be someone that he would want to split up. If it is true, then
Yeah.
she should be telling people.
Yeah, she should be telling people any way to sort of get more conversation about Rachel, because Rachel
Right.
probably isn't going to go this week. We know from the
No.
show that, Jimmy eventually wants to get her out, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be anytime soon here. And yeah, Vince is a good person to trust. I think you deserve your flowers for your take on Vince's HOH at this point, because Vince is going into this and it does not seem like he's going to be a target. It feels like he's going to be able to just fall back into the background here.
He absolutely is. I think that that conversation that allegedly happened with Vince and Rachel, where she was like, "Oh, you're the worst first HOH."
Yeah.
It's such a bad take. He really isn't. He was able to get in, get out. Zay's gone. Not that many people are really upset about it, except for Adrian, who's crying his eyes out, and Zach for no reason. That this is going to be a nothing. Everyone's going to forget about this by the end of today, and it'll be just fine. Vince is not on anybody's radar, really.
Okay, so since we did bring up Lauren, I will say this here, and this may be one of my takes on the game right now. I think Lauren and Catherine may be kind of stealthily the most dangerous duo right now on this season, because there's not a lot of people that are talking about them. Not a lot of people are
Yeah.
taking them super, super seriously.
Mhm.
We saw on this show last night that Riley voted in a way that surprised a lot of people, and now this is, a second tinfoil hat
All
here.
right.
It's not altogether clear exactly why he did this, but we also basically know, unfortunately, thanks to a very uncomfortable conversation, that Riley would basically give away his game for Catherine. And if Catherine is encouraging this, maybe she is the reason why Riley did vote that particular way.
I feel 1,000% that's got to be it. Like nothing else really makes any sense. That she shared her vote and he was like, "Yeah, you know what? Whatever you want."
Yeah, it does kind of sort of feel like that. Okay, the last thing about the HOH here before we really get into the powers is
Mhm.
that it sounds like Will may have injured himself at some point during all of this.
Oh, Team 50.
I know, I love Will, and I think Will's gonna be okay. It
Mhm.
seems like, Jimmy doesn't want to nominate Will, and a big part of the reason why is he feels bad because he's injured. And let me also say, from my Beauty and the Geek experience, not to make this whole video about myself, but as somebody who broke a clavicle playing a game of flag football, nobody wanted to nominate me or put me in danger because they had sympathy for me, which typically I hate, but in that situation, I was just like, thank
It
you.
it worked out all right for you.
It worked out all right. I'm doing okay. All
You're
right.
doing all right.
Special powers. Who doesn't love them?
Absolutely. Okay, so who has special powers? It is Kelly.
Yeah.
It is Mickey.
Yeah.
And it is Keanu.
Any opportunity.
It's gonna be so messy.
Okay, this is my dream now. I want, since we're covering Dexter, this is an appropriate chance to bring this up. Keanu needs to be the James Stokes of this season, where he wins all these challenges and then wins them and just like, surprise, and then he comes in and he just stays forever despite everybody wanting him out of the game. But okay, we'll start with Keanu here just because we're already talking about him. So it seems like, and yeah, this will probably all be clarified further on the show. We're dealing with a lot of secondhand information here.
Yeah.
But it seems like he sort of has two chances in the veto or two opportunities in the veto. I mean, maybe this is a situation where it's a timed competition and maybe he gets like two opportunities to run at it. Maybe it's something where he gets like, it's like Survivor where you get an advantage and you get to miss something, and it just, whatever it is, it ultimately just seems like if he's on the block, which he's going to be, he's going to have some sort of better chance to save himself.
This is going to be very exciting for me. I
Yeah.
just feel like anything that's going to make this not be just an easy breezy week for Jimmy where he can just put up people that no one's going to be that upset about and not have to change anything around. I don't want to see a week like that. I want to see a week where Keanu is able to just take himself off and then Jimmy has to scramble.
Yeah, we all need this. Like, even if you find Keanu irritating, and I understand he's talking to a lot of people, he's doing the most, it's just like, we need big personalities in the game, and we need people who are going to keep things messy. And I just like the idea of Keanu finding a way to persevere. And maybe, who knows, maybe he will learn something over the course of this, including don't just talk smack about Rachel and not trust Rachel when Rachel has been the only person who has like thrown a life vest to you. Ironic, given that it's Rachel. She actually did throw you the life vest.
She's also lied to him, though, and she's also pitted him against other people. So, kind of needs to middle that whole thing. She's helping, but she's also not.
The only people he apparently trusts at this point are Vince, which every single person alive seems to trust Vince at this point.
Yeah, I mean, my only worry about Vince is that if Keanu is one of the nominees, and it feels like he is, if he's able to use this power or not even use this power and end up winning the veto, that my guy Vince is going to be in some sort of trouble.
I'm a little worried. I'm hoping that, Jimmy, you are messy. Don't be that messy. You have other choices. You have other things you can do.
Right.
Just pawn someone if you absolutely have to.
Right.
All right. Kelly has a power. This one is that she apparently has to compete for her own power, which could be another veto, which could be something else. Like, Jimmy's already worried about this idea that, like, oh, maybe I'm gonna have to nominate 5 people this week, depending on what happens with Keanu, depending on what happens here with Kelly. But it feels like she's got her own little competition to do. Okay. Tinfoil hat time.
Oh my goodness, we're just covering tinfoil today.
You remember those old Microsoft Flight Simulator games that were that's what they're gonna give Kelly.
I know,
It's
right?
like Flight Simulator, you land this plane, you're gonna get your special power.
Yep.
All right, finally, our third power here, Mickey. And this one, this is the reason for the mystery jacket coming back. This one is really, really fun.
Yes, it is. There's a lot of power with this one.
There's a lot of power with one. Basically, the way it has been explained, and this is according to a conversation that Mickey had with Morgan. You can take or leave that, but apparently she can take over the HOH and turn it into a secret HOH. And the way in which this works, like, let's say hypothetically, Keanu manages to have this power. He James Stokes the situation. He makes it to next week. Let's say Keanu wins the next HOH. That night, Mickey could be like, okay, you know what? I don't trust Keanu. Who knows what he's going to do? I'm going to take over this HOH. And if that happens, then she is in a situation where she has all of the power,
Mhm.
provided that no one knows that she is the person who has overtaken it. It sounds like they're going to have a chance to do some sort of vote or something kind of like that, similar to the accomplice earlier
Mhm.
this season. If they are able to call out that it is her, then it doesn't work. If they are wrong, then she is able to have the power.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty overpowered power, but there's already some of those going on in the game. I'm looking at you, Zach, and your power.
That's really true. I'll be totally honest with you guys. I'm not here to lie. I totally forgot about Zach's power at this point in the video.
It's so powerful.
It just feels like
There's so many powers going on in the game. It feels like Jeff Probst has come over here and been like, "You get a power. Here's an idol. Here's another advantage. Everybody's got an idol." That's what's and like, what is happening? There's so many powers floating around this game already.
I know. It's really, really true. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm grateful that Big Brother's slower, so it's easier to remember some of them. But I say this as somebody who just totally forgot about Zach's power for a moment here. But yeah, there is so much going on. But I think here's the conversation we have to have here with Mickey. Hi, Mickey. You know, we like you. We feel like you're entertaining.
Oh yes.
Was it a good idea to tell Morgan about this? I understand you and Morgan are very, very close, and it seems like, you know, you probably have this until like the start of jury or whatever. So it's good for a little while. But if something happens, Morgan could call you out, and Morgan can ruin this for you.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I'm thankful she told
Yes.
somebody, or we wouldn't be here talking to you about it right now. Like,
Yeah.
because it's on the live feeds, the only way anyone knows about these powers is because people are having conversations about them. So if she decided just to keep it to herself, we wouldn't know that she has this or what's going on until probably the next show or whatever. But
Yeah.
I think that as long as she really has a tight enough relationship with Morgan, and it seems like she does, it's okay to tell somebody that you have that power because it builds trust. And this is a game that is based on lies, it's a house based on lies. So, in that type of a space, you do have to find the people that you really vibe with and that you really trust. I mean, we're talking about this with the whole women's alliance. The whole house needs to get together. Oh, they
Yeah.
have to bring in Lauren. No, they don't have to bring in Lauren. They don't trust Lauren. Lauren doesn't trust them. That doesn't make any sense. This is a house that you have to be very particular with who you trust. And if you can find those people that you can trust, you can get to the end with them. It happens. It happens often. So I think that this could be a very solid move to share something like that with Morgan, and then maybe together, if she's able to get away with it, they can kind of like maneuver what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, I think that's the best case scenario for her. I mean, another best case scenario is that she never has to use it at all, and then she doesn't even have to run in to this situation. But let's also be
I would
honest.
totally use it. It doesn't matter if I need it or not.
I think production, they're gonna if this gets close to when this power expires, they're gonna drag Mickey into the diary room and just
Oh,
be
for
like,
sure.
you know that power you have? You know what would be really fun? Yeah, because they totally want Mickey to use it.
Or they're going to drag her in and be like, start asking her questions. So, how are you feeling about Lauren? What do you mean, how am I feeling about Lauren? Why are you asking me this? Oh, I don't know. Maybe she's been talking about you. Like, I think it'll be something like that where then all the questions will be leading and she'll end up leaving the diary room and be like, you know what? Lauren has to go.
Okay, here's the one question I still have about this power, because I don't want to just base any assumption on what rules have been in similar situations in the past. But let's just say Keanu's HOH, Mickey overtakes him, she's the secret HOH. Is Keanu now eligible to be put on the block that week? Because if like whoever the HOH is originally, if that just means nothing, that really sucks. If you're going to go full Shima in the house, not that I'm advocating for throwing a mic pack into the pool, but
No.
it's just like that's the time in which to do it where I would be so unbelievably mad.
Yeah, I'd be really mad as well, especially if I'm vulnerable after I just won that HOH.
Okay, so that's where we are with these powers. We'll
Mhm.
see exactly where things go from here. Jimmy, for your sake, I'm sure you want an easy week. I hope this is a disaster for you.
I just hope that it's really messy and that we
Yes.
start to get more of the back and forth of like, oh, this person was HOH and they did this to me. I'm still here. Ha ha ha. I'm coming for you. Vince really did a decent job. He got out of it pretty well. He's not really on anybody's radar. That's what you want, right?
Yeah.
Is that really going to end up being the case with Jimmy? I mean, it could be with who he's looking at nominating. Like,
Yeah.
if this works out the way that he's hoping it can, this could be a very quiet week.
Okay, let's get your guys' predictions. Who do you think is going to be in the most danger this week? Who do you want to see win
Hmm.
the veto? If
Hmm.
these are the nominees, let us know. Hit that subscribe button
Yeah.
for more coverage. Support us further by joining our Patreon. That link is in the description. We are so grateful to everyone who is supporting us over there. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. And we will see you here next time.